Coliseum. I will never join you again. There will be a lot of fighting though. That's right. There will be. Okay, I'm in. Anyway, enough of my ADHD brain going a little bit dip-do-lally-tap. I wanted to have a little catch-up with you wonderful tribesmen at home. That's right, I'm talking to you. You're beautiful. You're looking good today. How you feeling? You feeling good? Great. Anyway, so one good thing that I feel has come out of my last video that we talked about Colosseum is that, I don't mean to show off or nothing, but the devs are watching my videos. Hi devs. I mean head. Hi henchman holding wrench. Anyway, so they watched my last video on Colosseum. If you've not seen it, please go ahead and check it out. It's fabulous. Some people have said it is absolute cinema. It is high art. Alternatively, it's the ramblings of a delusional bald Welshman. But I digress. Anyway, the devs did have a watch on that video, and they had some feedback for me that they wanted to clear up a few things about Colosseum. Now, if you remember, in my previous video, I spoke about Colosseum and I said it's a little bit confusing. We don't really know what's going on, how the scoring system works, really, how do we earn R10 materials, all that sort of good business. What happens? How big are the shards that we're going to get put into? What happens with the high watermark scores? What happens with daily leaderboard rewards and stuff like that? Is this a whale exclusive event, or is this an all-inclusive everybody get together, sing kumbaya around a fireplace, and everybody can have hot chocolate and marshmallows afterwards? What are we talking about? Colosseum rewards. Anyway, I did have a little bit of information to share with you today about what is actually going on with Colosseum. Now, I'm pretty sure that next week when the update goes live, because obviously, well, let me be clear, the update for Colosseum and the changes to Relic Delta and the new era structure, that's coming on the 18th, okay? 18th. However, updates usually get prepped a week in advance, so we will probably see some stuff coming next week on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know that for sure. That's just me making an assumption. Yes, that does make an ass out of you, but not me. That's not how it goes, is it? Anyway, as I was saying, they had a little bit of feedback and they wanted to give a little bit of clarity ahead of time around what it means in terms of how do we score on the leaderboards, okay? So I can say this comes directly from the developers. I am allowed to share this with you. I did ask. We went over it on the Friday night stream. Don't watch that unless you are alone and not with your children. Anyway, so what I can say is in this new Colosseum mode, there are going to be 8 tiers of difficulty. Now, we did see those various tiers, or we did see that there was an option for tiers in the original release. Because if we come over here, we can see it Tier 1 rewards, and you can see these are the various points mechanisms that you can get. There's obviously more that you could scroll through here, but we made some assumptions, right? We made some assumptions based on, oh, if you defeat 10% of the boss's health, you'll hit this threshold. If you beat 20%, you hit this threshold, and so on and so forth, up to 100%, which means, well, we assumed it meant there is a cap on how much you can score on each tier. And that is right, but it is also wrong. Okay, so had this little bit of clarification. Basically, there are going to be 8 tiers of rewards that we can do for these bosses. As you progress through the tiers, there is a 100% cap, right? So tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as you go through them, if you beat them 100%, you can claim all of these high watermark tiers. On tier 8, and I've had it confirmed from the devs that there is no cap to the points. There is an infinite cap. So it is going to come down to a certain element of strategy, probably an element of RNG, and obviously there is an element of whaling, because only those people that have whaled to get higher and higher stars on those characters are going to be able to increase the error levels of these new error marquees up to the maximum, meaning the highest level of gear and relic and ability mats, or the equivalent of, which is the error levels, right? So that final tier does have an infinite cap. We still don't really know how that's going to sort of interact in terms of how much RNG is there involved. Are people always going to hit the same sort of score? I'm assuming there's going to be an enrage mechanic, which is usually a run-ending thing. We don't have any further clarity on that particular point. So also, we did speak about this before, but you can see in the bottom right over here, we have got a number of attempts, okay? So there are a total of 5 attempts that you can do every day. If you happen to defeat an entire tier, that battle attempt gets reset, okay? So I don't know if that's going to be every day. I'm not quite sure on that, but your battle attempts will go back to 5. So you beat tier 1, you used up an attempt, booyah, you can go in again at tier 2, all your battles have gone up to 5 again. Super, right? So you keep on refreshing that, okay? Based on these first 2 points, they're saying the only reason players will be tied at 100% is because if they finish a tier, say you beat tier 1 and you just don't try tier 2, and you don't try tier 3, right? So there's going to be an element of how much score do you get, but also an element of how many tiers do you attempt when you go through, and then finally, when you get to the final tier, it's going to be a case of how high can you score in totality. Now, everybody who places on the leaderboard is going to be earning error currency. Okay, that's the new currency that presumably we use for error levels. Also, or maybe not even that. Maybe it is the for the new shipments. Sorry. Okay, but what they have confirmed is no matter where you place on the leaderboard, provided you have placed on the leaderboard, you are going to be earning error currency, and that error currency can be used to purchase Relic 10 materials. So it's not paywalled. Getting Relic 10 is not paywalled at all. What we're not clear on, however, is how many materials is it going to take to hit Relic 10? Like, how much currency do we need to use in the store to get ourselves a Relic 10 character, right? Obviously, that's kind of ignoring Relic 1 to Relic 9, right? That's obviously the first hurdle, is getting the characters to Relic 9. Second one, it would be getting the character from Relic 9 to Relic 10. So the good thing is, no matter where you are, free to play or not, you will have some form of access to Relic 10. The bad news is, obviously, we don't know how accessible that's going to be in reality, right? If you get this every single day, but it needs to be done for a week to earn 1 Relic mat if you can only beat up to tier 4, right? But it'll take 2 days if you were able to max out and hit the top of the leaderboards. We just don't know, right? We don't know. We're going to find that out very, very soon. But, like, is it a case of it'll take free-to-play characters 2 or 3 months to earn a Relic 10, and a pay-to-win character maybe can earn it in a week? I just don't know. I would assume usually it's going to be about a month. Like a month of farming to get a character to Relic 10, I would assume. Now, I don't know if that means that's what the free-to-play approach will be, or that's what the pay-to-play approach will be. Not sure on that, okay? Now, they have also said that for the daily leaderboards, it is not a one-and-done thing. They are a daily leaderboard, so you do have to try and go in and place a score every single day. And then out of that leaderboard score that you placed, the highest score that you are able to post will be your leaderboard score, which will then result in how much do you earn in terms of error currency, right? Which will then be transferred over into our relic materials. Now, we have had it confirmed as well that a run within Coliseum takes about 2 minutes. So 2 minutes a day for an optimized run to go through Coliseum. It's not too bad. It's not a heck of a lot of time. It's kind of similar to going in and doing a raid run, I guess, you know, in the Order 66 raid, not like a raid run in the Old Naboo, which might take you 10 minutes to go through the whole thing. This is 2 minutes. Obviously, you probably want to do a few to try and get like your score as max as possible. We don't know how much RNG is involved in there, how much we have to mess around. There's only so much we can really mess around, right? Because we can't adjust modding. It's going to be baseline characters, so it's either going to be down to strategy or RNG. Not sure how long that's going to take, but ultimately, even technically speaking, a worst case scenario, you'll be spending like 10 minutes a day, because 5 battles, 2 minutes a battle, go through. I'm assuming you don't have to do the tiers every day. I'm pretty sure that they said that these high watermark scores of going through the tiers and getting, all this stuff over here, that's once an error per boss. So there are 4 different bosses that you could earn the, tiers 1 through 8 on the high watermark scores, the one-time progression system, right? After that, it's just going to be posting a leaderboard score. I don't think that needs to change necessarily, unless we're going into a new era, which presumably will have new bosses, entirely new bosses, or maybe, like I said, maybe they're going to rotate 1 boss, 2 boss, 3 bosses out each era. Not sure. I'm hoping they have a lot of variety, But we just don't know at this point. There's still quite a few unknowns, I think, within the world of Colosseum at the moment. But what is really good is it's really, really flipping good to see that the devs are going out there, they're seeing some of the constructive criticism that we are giving, or some of the questions that we have as a community, and then they are directly responding. Now, my understanding is we're going to get more information in this coming week. There's going to be a Q&A out, and there's going to be something to do with an announcement, probably with the update. Like I said, I don't know if this is true. The update goes live on the 18th, but usually they preload some of the assets into the game ahead of time. So we might have some sort of update on Tuesday or Wednesday in a couple of days' time. We will be able to talk to it a little bit more. But I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of happy that we get to have this information. We still don't know how big a shard is going to be. It could be 8 people, it could be 8,000 people, it could be 10,000 people, not sure. My instinct is that it is probably going to be bigger rather than smaller, because that would encourage there to be more competition. So yes. Either way, the good news is, no matter what, everybody's got access to R10 through this new system. We just don't know how accessible it will be in terms of income. No idea. But as soon as I know more, ladies and gentlemen of the wonderful tribe at home, that's you, I'm talking to you, I will let you guys know. If you can give the video a like, if you're not subscribed already, I'm not sure what's wrong with you. I will try to help you, but maybe just hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.